Hello, everyone. This is the Cultural Pittsfield radio show. I forgot the name of it for a minute. This is the Cultural Pittsfield radio show. We're so happy to be on WTBR 89.7 FM. My name is Jen Glockner. I'm the director of the Office of Cultural Development for the city of Pittsfield. And we are back. We had the same show run for a couple of weeks, it feels like. And now it's April when we're recording this. It's officially spring. Yeah. Spring is springing. We're so happy to have Bev running the board always. Bev Prentice runs the board. And today we have Vlad Zeleny here from Berkshire Theatre Group, the ticketing manager at BTG. Hello.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. So happy always to have Berkshire Theatre Group on the show with all of the things happening at the Colonial and beyond. And now that it's April, we really are talking about the summer season. There used to be a season, quote unquote, but now Berkshire Theatre Group, Barrington Stage Company, other entities are really all year round.
I think you find there still is a season, for sure, in the Berkshires when everything ramps up and we're more concentrated on theater and musicals. But as you say, we've expanded beyond that. I think there's a demand for that in Pittsfield and a need for that culturally to have venues for people to put things on, like the events we have coming up, especially the education programs that you know intimately, I know, and all the hard work they do. So to have these spaces and these organizations is great.
Awesome. So let's talk about what's coming up. You're excited about many things. We're all excited about many things. What do you want to talk about first?
Well, first of all, Max Creek in 2 days, if you're interested in that. I know this will run maybe a couple times. So beyond that, we're looking ahead at Moana Jr.
So Max Creek, the date of the performance, Max Creek, is Friday, April 7th.
At 7:30.
Yes, awesome. We like to say dates because this
Sure.
runs at various times.
For sure.
So Max Creek, that's like an old, my husband saw that randomly and said, whoa, Max Creek is coming back. That's
right.
Oldie but goodie, kind of.
Oldie but goodie, and I hear they're playing better than ever. So hopefully that'll be a good show. Oh, I know it'll be a good show.
I'm sure it'll be.
The Creek Freaks will be out.
Yeah.
It'll be a party.
You call them the Greek Freaks?
Creek Freaks.
Oh, Creek Freaks.
I think they lovingly refer to themselves
like
and
the
each other.
Deadheads.
Deadheads, Creek Freaks. You gotta have.
I like it. Okay, cool. All right, so Max Creek is Friday, April 7th, 7:30. All of the stuff we're talking about, you can get tickets at the box office or at the website, berkshiretheatregroup.org.
Correct. And awesome. The box office is closed Mondays, but Tuesday through Sunday, noon to 5. 413-997-4444. Give us a call. We're there to help you out.
Or stop. I sometimes, if I'm driving by, I stop at the Colonial and go inside and talk to a real human being.
Right. And stop in, check out the exhibits from Berkshire Artists Guild. And right now, ARI, I think it's Artisan Recovery. We have a couple galleries going on as well. You know, I'm there. I'm becoming part of the history of the Colonial. I've been there, all my life since it was an art store and a flower shop. I'll give you a tour. Come by. That's where we got open doors.
That's awesome. Yay. Thank you, Vlad. That's awesome. So beyond Max Creek.
Moana. Everyone's working hard. Staff, technical team, students, really working hard. I'm sure parents, yourself. Yeah. It's a whole thing to get everyone there. So I hope you are interested in showing up. It is selling fast.
It is selling fast, which is so awesome. This is a community production involving kids as early as, third grade? Or
I believe so, yeah.
I think it's third grade, and then all the way up to like seniors in high school.
Right.
So it is truly a collaborative effort getting kids of all ages involved in theater.
Right, and all ages is a beautiful thing for arts in the Berkshires. This is really a lot of kids' first time in theater, first time doing anything like this, filling roles, stepping up to their confidence and finding themselves. Allison was recently honored. Allison Rochelle Bales is the director of these education programs. She was just honored at our Impact Award Song and Dance a few weeks ago. And she really puts in the time and effort. And, students, when I was in high school, she was still there doing the same thing. And we all look up to her and these programs. And BTG will follow them along to the point where they're in these touring productions that go to different schools and that is really sets them up for a future in sort of touring arts and theater.
And builds confidence.
Yes.
I mean, these kids that have never been on stage are now going to be on stage at the Colonial Theater, this historic, beautiful theater in front of hundreds of people.
Right.
And that
Good
is
way to scare them.
Woo! No, that's building it. It's amazing how they're not even flinching. I'm like shaking in my boots just thinking about it.
Right.
But these kids get up there and they don't even flinch. They're on stage.
I think part of that is that they've done it so many times by then, and they've worked through it. And part of that is camaraderie for each other, that you've got to stick with your part so everyone else's part melds in. And yeah, it is exciting.
It's amazing.
When we fill the houses too, and if you're listening to this and you're thinking, should I go see this? Is this really just for kids? Show up, buy some popcorn. The ticket money from this directly benefits the education program and the kids programming itself. So donate your time, donate your ticket price. Come have a fun with us.
So when is Moana? What are the dates of that?
And I should say Disney's Moana Jr., April 21st, 22nd, where there's also a 2 o'clock matinee, and 23rd.
So the weekend of April 21st, which is at the end of the Pittsfield Public Schools break, and I think other people in Berkshire County as well.
Correct.
So April 21, 22, 23 is the Moana Junior production, community production. All of this information that we're talking about throughout the show is available at berkshiretheatregroup.org. I love your website because you go on it, you can see the full calendar of the month and be like, oh yeah, that's that day, and you click on it, gives you more information, and then it says buy tickets. It's really easy to operate your website, which I love.
And if you do have any difficulties, call us in the box office. We will be there to help you out.
A real human.
Yes.
Answers the phone, which is also very, very welcoming these days. Once again, this is the Cultural Pittsfield Radio Show. We're so happy to be on WTBR 89.7 FM, Pittsfield Community Radio. My name is Jen Glockner. I'm the director of the Office of Cultural Development for the City of Pittsfield. We have Vlad Zeleny on here from Berkshire Theatre Group, the ticketing manager, and of course Bev Prentice is operating the board. We're talking about all of the things coming up at Berkshire Theatre Group's Colonial Theater and beyond. It's April, which means we're gearing up for the quote-unquote season of theater in the Berkshires, and it's really exciting. There's buds on the trees, the flowers are...
Oh, I thought you said bugs.
Buds, B-U-D-S. Greenery is coming out. Spring is springing for sure. So we've talked about a couple of things coming up, including the Moana Junior production, April 21, 22, and 23. And Vlad, you have an amazing sheet of all of the things. What's up?
I do have. Well, I mean, really, there's a lot going on for Berkshire Theatre Group. And if I could flow from the season idea.
Sure.
The season is still alive and well at the Unicorn in Stockbridge. And I was just there a few weeks ago. I hadn't been there in years, but really to sit and take in the space. Kate is very good. Kate McGuire, our artistic director, is very good at curating a program for the space. So coming up at the Colonial, we have $1 Million Quartet, which was at the Unicorn before. It was very popular. It's going to be at the Colonial. So that's what I'm personally really excited about. That sounds awesome for me, and that's right up my alley.
And that'll be cool for you, for those that saw it at the Unicorn, to see it at a different space.
And about the space, so it's a very intimate space. It's very direct and confrontational. You're sitting eye to eye with actors very close, and set and lights and music. And the season there is built around very direct and themes this year, with women and women in America, women in science, what that means. So I think that is a very beautiful use of that space. It is a unicorn in that way. I can't think of other theaters other than a black box that have that experience, but not the sort of scope of a full theater stage and seating. So that's going to be awesome for me this season down there, personally. And then to bring $1 Million Quartet to the Colonial, to give it a bigger space, maybe a little more, that hopefully will bring something to the production, as far as they have physically more space. Maybe it'll be a little more bigger in presentation to the audience. So
Very
I hope
cool.
that is going to translate well for everyone. And I'm certainly excited about that. And that's really the next big thing coming to the Colonial.
And when is that?
June 27th through July 16th. And you can find all the dates and times at berkshiretheatregroup.org. And make sure you spell theater with
Quartet.
TRE.
And
Yes.
what is the $1 Million Quartet?
You know, I hate to use the term jukebox musical, but I think that's going to get across the idea more than anything. And this is the story of Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Elvis Presley. We're all contemporaries of Sun Records in Memphis, and this is a slightly idealized version of how they may have met in a studio, based off of December 4th, 1956. So this is in the studio with those musicians at that time. And as I say, the intimacy of the Unicorn provided maybe a very closed room feeling. So you maybe felt like you were in the room, but I'm sure at the Colonial, it'll be much more of a theater.
Yeah,
you know
and
what I
you
mean?
can be louder.
Right.
I mean, not that loud is good, but it just is
It's
going
rock
to
and
be.
roll.
It's rock and roll.
Volume doesn't
Exactly.
hurt.
Thank you.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I think that is going to be cool. I didn't get a chance to see that at the Unicorn, so I'm excited to see it at the Colonial for
I think,
sure.
yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's at the Colonial. Popular demand. We will find a seat for you at the Colonial.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure it was easily sold out often at the Unicorn, where there's more seats available at the Colonial Theater. Cool. $1 Million Quartet at the Colonial starting June 27th through July 16th. As Vlad said, you can get all of this information at BerkshireTheatreGroup.org. Theater is spelled
TRE.
TRE
Yes.
at the end. That is something of note, which I spell it that way often now because of Berkshire. It's
Right.
okay.
I always default. I'm also president of Berkshire Theatre Group, Berkshire Lyric, and we are also Berkshire Lyric Theater, TRE. I always learned it as that's the way it's spelled. But yeah, so we always have to put that little proviso on.
I like it. BerkshireTheatreGroup.org has all of the information about these awesome events that we're talking about coming to the Colonial Theater and beyond. Moana Jr., April 21st, 22nd, 23rd. $1 Million Quartet, June 27th through July 16th at the Colonial Theater. What is next?
And that leads us right into the Secret Garden spring version. And this is a encore presentation, and for non-theater people, think it's abridged. You're not missing any of the good parts, but it's not to expect a full blown out musical. And it is kid friendly. We do have children, teen ticket prices for that. And, you know, I'm not as familiar with this one, but 11-year-old Mary Lennox returns to Yorkshire. Compelling tale of forgiveness and renewal. I think the people who are going to be interested in this kind of know where it's at and what it's about. But it should be quite a nice musical to
Very cool. When is that?
check out with the kids. And that'll be July 29th at 2 and 7, and then July 30th at 2.
Wow, hard to believe. So we're into April and we're already planning ahead for the summer season.
Yeah.
Our calendar at home, I'm putting stuff in for the summer already. I'm like, we got to remember this weekend is this and this weekend is this, so we don't overbook or double book or triple book. So get all of these things that we're talking about into your calendars if you're interested, because they are going to sell quickly. Tickets are on sale for all of the things that we're talking about. So you can go on to the website or to the box office and purchase these tickets today to get all of this stuff. Also, something cool that happens at the Colonial, there's all these great productions, but there's also like David Sedaris comes and talks it's just a one-man show. He gets up and does his thing on stage. That's Saturday, May 13th at the Colonial Theater. So that's why I love Berkshire Theatre Group. They have these grandiose, amazing musicals or productions or plays, but then they also have David Sedaris coming in and doing this talk about his crazy antics of David Sedaris.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, speaking of space and intimacy, it's a big show. It's a big person, a big name. But as well, before and after, there will be book signings, books available. and I hear he's very direct and really gets to know people and appreciate people. So if you're at all a David Sedaris fan, come by, meet the man, see the show. Gonna be a great time.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Sure, yeah.
So to speak. Once again, this is the Cultural Pittsfield Radio Show. We're so happy to be on WTBR 89.7 FM, Pittsfield Community Radio. My name is Jen Glockner. I'm the director of the Office of Cultural Development for the City of Pittsfield. Bev Prentice is running the board as always. Thank you, Bev. And we have Vlad here from Berkshire Theatre Group talking all about the season and events and all of the awesomeness happening through Berkshire Theatre Group. And Vlad, you've been, now that I'm talking to you, I'm like, I totally have met you before.
Yeah,
and
we
I'm
must
sorry.
have.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because this is what happens in Pittsfield and the Berkshires. You're like,
Don't I know
oh,
you?
hey. And then like, I've met you before. You've been in the Berkshires forever.
Yes.
You're like born and raised here. And then you were involved in Berkshire Theatre Group.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also, you just mentioned you're involved in Berkshire Lyric.
Yes.
Okay. So, because then I'm like, oh, I think that's
right. Yep. Yeah, I've been involved in all sorts of Berkshire arts nonprofits. I was a program director for Rock On Workshop for years.
Oh, see?
I company managed at Albany Berkshire Ballet. I've been on the board for Berkshire Lyric for about 5-7 years now.
Yeah. So you are in it.
I am very in it with the Berkshire's culture. The theater festival and the Colonial I'd been involved with in the past in different capacities. Williamstown Theater Festival. Yeah, I am very, very in the mix.
I love it.
Sounds like an expert.
This is, I think we definitely have an expert on our hands, which is so awesome. This is what the Berkshires is all about in Pittsfield and the culture. It's just the epitome of culture. I mean, before I moved here and before I met my husband and then moved here, I didn't know anything about the Berkshires, but it truly is the epitome of culture within our wonderful county.
Right.
There's so much to offer.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of humble beginnings in the 60s and 70s that just kind of tumbled into this is the place to be. We had our absence of industry and we filled in with art, which is beautiful.
It's awesome.
And a lot of work by people like yourself, your predecessor, Mayor Roberto and Bob Boland, who backed up the Colonial projects early on. We have a lot to thank the people who took care of the music hall that eventually become Barrington Stage. All that has gone into it. We've really come so far. To see where we're at today is great. And we're happy we have people like you in our corner and pushing that along.
Yes, and the revitalization is still alive and well. I just came from a meeting about a potential mural festival that's going to be happening with the TDI, the Transformative Development Initiative. So all of these things continue to happen and grow, and we embrace it and say, yes, please, let's continue to expand and enjoy all of the things that are happening. So, yay, Berkshire Theatre Group is you, Vlad, are a great example of growing up in the Berkshire Theatre Group world, and then now you're working there. I mean, that's awesome. Yeah,
some great people in Pittsfield decided it takes a village, and we're going to be that village. So I am a product of that village. Happy to say, and working in arts management, it's great. I love it. I get to keep these programs alive that I benefited from. I get to make new programs that I wish I had. So yeah, it's great, and I love being part of that mission.
So great. All of these things happening at Berkshire Theatre Group's Colonial Theater and beyond, of course. We talk more about the Colonial Theater, of course, because we live in Pittsfield and work for Pittsfield, and so we're talking about Pittsfield more than anything else. But Berkshire Theatre Group has a county-wide presence, including the Stockbridge campus, of course. So we have talked about several things coming up, including Moana at the end of April 21, 22, 23, $1 Million Quartet, June 27th through July 16th, and The Secret Garden, July 29th and 30th. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, yeah, I'll mention another thing we have at the Colonial, The Accidental Hero. It's a multimedia one-man show coming up. It's a World War II American officer, Matt Knopp, who liberates a Czech village of his grandparents. I'm Czech myself, so I can't wait to see this. World War II and the aftermath and the Soviet Union really shaped the Czech identity as far as they use that to turn it around into a positive through the 90s until today, to where they're really now a force for democracy and a voice of reason, I like to think, in the world, especially the world we live in. That should be great. That's sponsored by Mary Chris and Alan Bassman, in memory of Marianne Gross, lover of theater and all things Czech. And that should be a good show.
Awesome.
That's a small in the garage,
Okay,
but again,
great.
the intimacy of the space, it's appropriate in there. Come check it out. And that is, let me back page here, May 26th at 7 and $10 general admission ticket.
I love things in the garage as well. And I love how you use the space in the garage. It's the lobby. And when you first look at it, you say, oh, this is the lobby where I'm getting concessions. But when you set it up for an event, it's really cool. It fits 100 people in there and it's way more intimate, of course, as you just said. So
right.
The Accidental Hero will be in the garage space on May 26th of the Colonial Theater. Of course, as we've been saying, everything that we're talking about is available. More information is available at berkshiretheatregroup.org, berkshiretheatregroup.org.
Thanks for that.
Always. We like to tell people where to go for more information because we don't have all the information.
Right. And there'll always be things we forget.
There will always be things we forget. Oh, I'm looking now at Pittsfield City Jazz Fest. What is this thing? I'm clicking on it.
That's an annual, the Pittsfield jazz people have a good relationship with the Colonial. They're here annually with us, and they always put on a good show. I haven't looked too far into Emmett Cohen and his trio, or the guest artist Houston Person.
Yeah, this looks
it's
very
going
cool.
to be great.
This is April 30th, Sunday at 4 o'clock. That's another example of collaboration. Berkshire Jazz, Berkshire's Jazz, Ed Bride's group, Berkshire's Jazz. They do a lot of things throughout Pittsfield and Berkshire County, but they often have big events at the Colonial Theater, and they bring in a lot of people. And this one is on April 30th, Pittsfield City Jazz Festival, featuring Emmett Cohen and his trio with guest artist Houston Person. And that's, again, Sunday, April 30th at 4 o'clock. That's very cool. Max Creek. We talked about Max Creek. Also, let's talk about some tribute bands, because I do think, again, the Colonial Theater does great things with tribute bands where you can dress up and go out with your friends.
For sure.
And I'm looking at Working for a Living, the Huey Lewis and the News tribute show.
Yeah, we've had a few tribute bands recently. And I think as well, culturally, there's a little bit of an 1980s revival happening. We had just recently the Berkshire Art Center fundraiser that was held there, and they went for a Studio 54 sort of 80s excess theme. Yeah. Did you see?
So awesome.
I
was out of town, so I wasn't able to make it, but let me tell you, people rock that theme.
Right.
It was great. And people are very excited about being back in person for events like the Berkshire Arts Center Gala, which hasn't been in person for quite a few years.
We are all about the experiences. We are all about the new things and living life for now, because you never know how short it could be.
Yeah, so that was very cool. They rock the theme and the pictures. Berkshire Art Center used to be IS 183, so you can look on their social media pages for pictures of all the things that we're talking about.
And in that theme, come see Working for a Living, the Huey Lewis and the News tribute, Saturday, May 6th at 7:30. I don't think it's general admission, but you're always welcome to dance off to the side.
Oh, yeah. Huey Lewis. Or in your seats. Some people just stay in their seats and dance, and that's just fine, too.
And then if $1 Million Quartet was up your alley, the Johnny Cash, Jerry Lewis, Tom Rush, accompanied by Matt Nakoa, Sunday, May 21st at 2 p.m. He's been to the Colonial before. He's coming back. Should be a good, again, an intimate sort of a big man and a big name as far as presenter weight, and in a big space like that, in a beautiful space, in an acoustic design space like that,
Yeah.
that's going to be a really great show.
That is going to be very cool. Once again, this is the Cultural Pittsfield Radio Show. We're so happy to be on WTBR 89.7 FM, Pittsfield Community Radio. My name is Jen Glockner. I'm the director of the Office of Cultural Development for the wonderful city of Pittsfield. We run the Love Pittsfield website. So many of the events that we talk about on this show and beyond are on the Love Pittsfield website, lovepittsfield.com. We also send out a Love Pittsfield newsletter every Thursday. So if you have events happening in Pittsfield, please let us know and we will publish them in the newsletter and on our website. Berkshire Theatre Group does a great job of letting us know about all of your events, and we post them on our newsletter and on our website. We are talking to Vlad Zeleny from Berkshire Theatre Group. Ticketing manager is the official title of Vlad, about all of the cool things happening at Berkshire Theatre Group. We've got about 3 or 4 more minutes, so we can keep on going.
Yeah, what I'd love to mention is that summer season, and for us that means theater and live theater down in Stockbridge. We're just in the Unicorn right now. The main stage is going through the process of deciding what it's going to be in the future. I think Kate is the expert there and the board, and they're going to use that space the best way they can. They'll put on theater the best way they can. And I know we're going to be fundraising for that soon. So as you're there at the Unicorn, sort of think to look down a little bit further east and think, what's the future going to be? We're always looking for contributions towards that, especially because I know it will be such a great space and it will be designed with the theater in mind. That I'm really excited for that and our upcoming 100th anniversary in 2028. And then the theater in the Unicorn this summer, What the Constitution Means to Me, a very sort of confronting, direct thing to have in that space. Photograph 51 is a Women in Science. That's about, I can't think of the scientist's name at the moment, but the discovery of DNA and its structure. The Smile of Her, which is performed and written by Christine Lottie. That is going to be very popular. That is another intimate look at America and women and their place in it, and especially in the 1950s. And On Cedar Street is a little less heavy of content, but the intimacy will be there. And that's a musical world premiere, August 12th through September 2nd. And I should say the dates for Photograph 51 is June 15th through July 1st. The Smile of Her, July 12th through July 29th. And What the Constitution Means to Me, which is a co-production with Wham.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. And May 18th through June 3rd for that. So that's coming up soon. Very
good. Berkshire Theatre Group does such a great job of collaborating with other organizations, and also the breadth and depth of the genres at all of the spaces and stages is awesome. From a Huey Lewis tribute band to a very serious women-focused performance at the Unicorn in Stockbridge. It's awesome. There truly is something for everyone.
For sure. And that is definitely the art and the sort of avant-garde and the edge of art as far as its world premieres. It's serious topics that we're looking to communicate to people, things we all feel strongly about, and things that deserve to be highlighted in a world where I think women are concentrating on their rights, let's say, at the moment.
Bev and I are, we're on that side. We are women, hear us roar, always. So we appreciate all of that.
So come see some theater, feel that experience. If these things haven't affected you, they will. And this will be your ammunition for your motivation to get out there and be your own advocate.
I love it. This has been the Cultural Pittsfield Radio Show. Vlad, we cannot thank you enough for all you do for Berkshire Theatre Group and the community. Thanks for coming on and sharing your experience and all of the cool things happening at Berkshire Theatre Group. Again, everything we've been talking about is on Berkshire Theatre Group's website, berkshiretheatregroup.org, for all of the information. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Jen, Bev.
Have a great week, everyone.